David Games here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. So today we will be ranking all high-end gliders in Mario Kart Tour. I've been asked to do this by some people, some of my subscribers, and I've seen it in the community. People have been wanting to see a glider tier list. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. So before we start, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by October, which is my 18th birthday, and it would be great if you could help out. So without further ado, let's get started. So we've got S, A, B, C, D, E, and F tiers, and this will mainly be ranked about value and how much I see them in ranked mode. Some of them may be based on looks in some ways, so like it's not completely value-wise, but that's how it's mainly looked at. So I'm not going to be judging it based on how many tracks it has. It's mainly how many times I see it in ranked and how it looks, in my opinion. So without further ado, let's start off with the ones that are pretty obvious that are going to be ranked. So all the Hanafudas need to go in F tier. They are not good at all. I despise the Hanafudas. I think everyone does, honestly. So I think this is a pretty safe bet that all the Hanafudas go in F tier. Like, the Hanafuda pipe that we had in the Trick Tour 2021 was an insane meme because no one pulled for it. The odds were awful. The Hanafudas are trash, and just no one likes the Hanafudas, so it was basically a meme. And I think everyone just is so glad that we're done with the Hanafudas. They were so annoying, and they were probably some of the worst Gold Pass gifts that were high ends. Some people may like them. Like, the concept of them is really cool, but there are just way too many of them, and they're so bad in value, so I just do not like them at all. So that's why they're all going in F tier. So moving on to S tier, which is moving from bottom to top, we're going to go with the ones that I think are some of the most valuable gliders in the game. So starting off, we've got Gold Crane. Now, this is a very, very good glider. It's a coin plus, and it's seen in ranked, I'd say, a decent amount of times. Like, it's not the worst. It's pretty valuable. I think the design looks amazing, and once again, it has coin plus, so it has a lot of value, and it looks really cool as well, so that's why I put it in S tier. Next up, we obviously have to put this in S tier as well, the Glinting glider. This thing is probably the most valuable glider in the game. It's probably the best glider, and if you did buy it in the wedding tour, you should get it to level 7 or at least level 6, because this thing's in ranked literally every single tour, and I'm using it every single tour because I have it at level 6, and I think I have it double capped. I'm not sure if it's triple capped, but I know I have it double capped. It's such an insane glider. As coin plus, it looks cool. It's just amazing in all ways. It's so good. So good. Invest in that if you do have it. Okay, so next up we've got I don't really know. Let's actually do Cloud Glider. This isn't really used very much at all. I think it's only like top shelf on like Cheap Lagoon. I can't remember anything else that it's really top shelf on. I'm gonna put it in the F tier with all the Hanafudas because it's not that good. So I'm putting it that there. Same goes with the Swooper. That's not very good either. So if I can find it, where did it go? Okay, there you are. It's not very good as well. So I think it may be E tier, but once again, it's one of the daily selects, so it's not very valuable. So that's why I'm putting it there. Next up, we've got Ship's Wheel. Now, this is a really cool and awesome glider. I think it has a lot of value. I'm not quite sure. I know it does. It is very, a very cool glider. It has that spinning animation, and a lot of people want it. And I wanted it, that's for sure, but I did not get it, sadly. But I think it's a really good glider, honestly. It's a decent value. It has, I've seen it in ranked pretty often, so I think I'm going to put it in S tier. Next up, we've got Golden Wings. Now, Golden Wings is also one of the S tier gliders. Now, as you can see, most of these are coin plus, but trust me, it's not just because they're coin plus. These are used in ranked so very often, and that's one of the main reasons why they're in S tier. And Golden Wings is, without a doubt, one of these certain gliders. I was just checking my ranked opponents, and they were, most of them, if they did have it, they were all using the Gold Glider. I was seeing it all around in ranked mode. Gold Glider, Gold Wings, Gold Wings, Gold Wings. It's such an insanely good glider, and I think it really is one of the 2022 Monarchs for the glider section. Next up, we've got another gold coin glider, which is the gold home field glider. So I think the gold home field glider is sort of in the same situation as the golden wings. It's a really very, very good glider, and it has a lot of ranked value. Although it is not the best looking one, I'd say it is one of the best value-wise, so that's why I put it up in the S tier. Okay, so next up, Nabbit Oil Paper Umbrella. Now, this is another one of these great S tier gliders that has not come back very much. It's only come back like twice. It was in the Nabbit Tour, and then or the Wild West Tour, and then it came back recently in the Toad vs. Toadette Tour, and that was the only time it came back. And it has insane value, so it's very, 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 very good. It has Blooper Plus, which can get you a lot of points, and it's in ranked mode pretty frequently, I'd say. So yeah. I can say the same exact thing, actually, about, if I can find it, I don't know where it went. The Dream Glider, which is Kamek's glider. So, Dream Glider is actually, I think, the top 15, top 10, not really sure. But I do know that it's a very, very useful glider, and Ryder Games has actually pulled it, and he's been using it a lot in ranked, and he's been telling me, oh, it's so good, it's like always in ranked. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I haven't really seen it much, but I believe that it is pretty valuable in ranked, so that's why it's an S tier. Now, I think the last S tier glider that I'm going to put in S tier is the Vampire Wings, because I also saw this in my ranked cup a lot. Everyone was using it. It's gotten a lot of value recently, so I think that's another reason why it's in S tier. Okay, so I think that's all the S tier gliders. I'm pretty sure that's all. I think maybe Silver Starshoot would be the last one, if there was another one. But other than that, I think I've got most of the S tier gliders done. So Silver Starshoot is also a very useful glider that's been in ranked quite frequently recently. And, I'd say it's another one of the, I'd say like a ship's wheel or a gold crane kind of situation for that. It's a pretty good glider, honestly. So yeah. Okay, so moving on to E tier. For E tier, we're going to be putting in the 2020 glider, the 2021 glider, and the recently added 2022 glider. Now, these gliders are not very good because they've only come back like 2021 glider only came back in the in the tours in 2021 that was about the Christmas and New Year's tours. 2020 glider had the same situation, but it came back one more time in the Yoshi tour, and 2022 glider is the one that recently got added, and it's probably going to get the same treatment as the others. They're just not used after their celebration is what I'm going to call it. So they're just not used after that. It's not very good. They're not very good at all. So that's why I put them there. Another pretty bad glider, I'd say, is the Tropical Glider. It's a very much of a troll. It's a very trolly kind of glider. Like, no one likes it. I'm surprised I haven't gotten it as much as other people have. It's just such a troll kind of glider. It's not good at all, and honestly, the design looks very bad. I'm not even gonna lie, the design looks awful. So, that's the main reason why I put it in E tier. I haven't really gotten trolled by it very much, but other people, I've heard rumors and stories of it taunting people in their nightmares. So, that's why I'm putting that one there. Okay, so I do think I forgot one more S tier glider, and that is the Bright Balloons. So, this glider is the one that was in the pack with Nabbit. In the $40, it was either that or it was in the $20. It was either that or the Purple Bunny with Nabbit. Anyway, it was in Yoshi Tour 2021, and it has gone insane value. It's very useful and ranked. And the design is pretty cool. I like how they made it like rainbow. I actually sort of predicted it with jelly bean balloons in the Yoshi Tour 2021. I said that it was going to be like a jelly bean glider with rainbow like hearts and everything. But we got that instead. And it's sort of I bought that pack just mainly for that reason, because I predicted it, and it was really cool how that happened and how it turned out to be true. So, I think that's all we have in S tier. Moving on to A tier. So for A tier, we've got Silver and Gold Hearts. I think this is a pretty good glider. It's decently useful. I mean, it's not the best. It's not like a ship's wheel or anything, but it's a decently used glider, I'd say. So, yeah, put it in A tier. Same goes with the Gold Swooper. It's another one of the gliders that is decently used, and it's pretty valuable in ranked mode. So I'd say, yeah, it's a pretty good glider, honestly. next up, we've got the Black Great Sale. Now, this is another one of these gliders that was paywalled with Pirate Bowser Jr. before becoming a normal high-end in the Mario vs. Peach tour. And it's a very cool glider. It isn't the best, but it is more valuable than, let's say, the normal Great Sale or Cheap Cheap Mask. I'm just pulling random ones out of here. I don't really know what its value is compared to others, but I do know it's a very good glider, and a lot of people do like it, so I'm putting it up there because it is a pretty good glider, I'd say. Okay, next up, we've got, I want to say, Jolly Bells? Jolly Bells is, I think, B tier. It's a very, very average kind of glider. It's not the worst, but it's also not the best. It's coin plus, which is why it's not in the very middle. But it is sort of average. Like, you only really see it on city tracks, but then again, it's or no, not city tracks, but like holiday tracks. But it's coin plus, and it's a very good glider overall, so that's why I put that there. Now, the same thing can be said about the gift glider, if I can find it in here. Got lost. Can't really find it. Let me see, where did it go? Oh, there it is. So this is another one of these Jolly Bell situations. I have this at level 6 because of coin plus, and it was very, very useful in ranked mode recently, so that's why I put it there. And it's honestly, I'd say it's a pretty good glider, in my opinion, so that's why I decided to put that there. Okay, next up we've got the Gold Tanuki Parafoil. Now this is another one of these A-tier gliders that are like swooper gold hearts. It's gotten a lot of value, and I believe that it will get more value over time, so yeah, I think it's an A-tier. Okay, we're moving on to Springtime Crane, because this one is also a very, very valuable glider, I think. I always see this in ranked on my alt, surprisingly. It's not on my main, but I have it on my main and my alt, but I only ever see it in ranked on my alt, surprisingly or not. So I know it's very, very good in ranked, and it's usually top shelf, but I just always have better options. So that's why it's not an S tier, but it's an A tier instead. There are just always better options for it if you have been playing since the start and you have leveled up stuff. But I have used it somewhat frequently on my main and my ult. More on my ult than my main, though. Okay. Next up, we've got the, I think I want to go with the Fair Flyer. This one's not very good at either. It's going to be going in E tier. It just doesn't really have much value. It was one of the first high-end gliders in the game. It just does not ever live up to its value, so that's why I'm putting it in E tier. D tier, I want to go with Calico. I think it's either D or E. Not really sure. I'm going to put it in D because it's not the worst. It is very useful this tour because of Meowser's. It's Meowser's high-end spotlight glider, so that's why it's pretty useful this tour, but usually it's not very useful, I've heard. Okay, moving on to Starshoot. Now, Starshoot is also one of these A or B tier gliders. It is a normal high-end. It is coin plus, and it's not always in ranked, but it's in ranked frequently enough to be an A tier in my opinion. So I think it's pretty useful, and I think you should really level Starshoot up. It's one of my favorites, definitely. I'll say that. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, I think we all know the story about this Butterfly Sun crap. I'm not gonna say the real word because I'm not gonna get age restricted. So putting it there in E tier because it's a troll. I'll tell you that. It's very bad. Mega Mushroom Plus is awful. It's a normal high-end, awful. Its value is pretty trash, awful. I honestly, when it's in ranked, I always, even if it's a higher level, I always go for something else because I refuse to ever use that thing. I know that may be an awful decision, but trust me, it's just, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Trust me. Okay, so on the other hand, its brother, the Butterfly Wings, is actually pretty good. Pretty darn good, I'd say. I'd say B tier. It's in between A and B tier, but I think I'm gonna go with B tier because it's not the most useful, but it is pretty darn useful in ranked mode. So that's why I put it in B tier, and the colors are just mesmerizing. I love it so much. It's so amazing. Okay, next up we've got another one of the trash gliders, Wicked Wings. Now, this is actually sort of in the same situation as Calico. It's not the worst, but it also is not the best. It's never in ranked mode, but it does have certain amounts of value, but the tracks are never in ranked, so that's why it's in D tier. Okay, moving on, we've got the Bopo Parachute. Now, this is another one of the E tier gliders that are like Mario Musician's glider that's been absolutely trash, unusable. It's just never used. I never see it being used, so that's why I put it in E tier. Okay, next up we're gonna go with the Rose Parasol. Now this one's actually, I think, pretty decent. I'm gonna put it up in A tier. It has Rich L+, it has a decent amount of tracks, and I'm pretty sure it's in ranked pretty frequently. Not sure, I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure that it has been used in ranked frequently, so I'm gonna put it up there. Now, moving on to the Snow Crystals. Now, this is also a very good glider. It's in ranked very much. It's gonna go in A tier. Even when it's not in like, the winter seasons, it's usually in ranked. It's a very, very good glider. I think it does have potential to get pretty high up there in the ranked tracks, so that's why I'm putting it up there. And this glider, I think it's Glitter Glider is what it's called, is Daisy Holiday Cheers glider, and it is never used. It is similar to the Jolly Bells and the Gift Glider, but it is not Coin Plus. It is Lightning Plus, which is not the best, so we're going to put it in D tier, mainly because of that reason. Moving on, we have the Dry Bowser Oil Paper Umbrella. Now, this one's also a pretty decent normal high-end glider. It's one of the better normal high-end gliders that you can get, so we're putting that one in B tier. It has been in tier shop, and it has lost a lot of value, but we're putting it in B tier because it's one of the better normal high-end gliders, so we're putting that up there. Okay, now let's get rid of the other normal high-end gliders. So we're putting Gold Glider in A tier along with the Starshoot because it's a Coin Plus, and it's a very, very good glider. It's in ranked pretty frequently. I think it's like, I've seen it on Cheap Cheap Lagoon, I've seen it on Waluigi Pinball, Luigi's Mansion. It's a glider you want to invest in because it's a Coin Plus, and it's a very valuable thing that you'll use. You will definitely use it. Okay, so 8-Bit Star, though, this is another one of the gliders that have retired from their monarching. Same with Dry Bowser Oil Paper, it's just not as good as it used to be, so putting it out in B tier. Dragon Wings, such a poor soul here. Used to be the top glider. Everyone wanted this glider. It was #1, and now it just is it's dead. It's dead. I'm telling you that now. No one ever uses that glider. I've never seen it ranked in so long. Okay, next up we've got gonna go with Crimson Crane. So this is also one of the gliders that is sort of mid, kind of a mid value. I think I'm also gonna put this glider and Dry Bowser Oil Paper along with this butterfly glider there as well, because these are like the normal high-ends that are decent. These are basically the exclusives, and then these are the decent or the normal ones. I'm gonna put that there for now. So that's sort of how I'm feeling with all 4 of those. They're not the best, but they're better than some. I think Cheap Cheap Mask is also in that situation because some of these gliders are very good, but they're just in the normal high ends, and you usually have them pretty high leveled, so that's why they're going in C tier. They're just not as good as they should be. Okay, Daisy Glider is actually going to be going in B tier. Even though it is a newly added high end to the ACP, it is still a pretty very good glider. Same goes with Black Toby and Balloons. They're both very valuable, and I think that they're in like the B tier kind of situation. So that's why I put them higher up there. Okay, moving on, we've got Great Sale. So this is not as good as the others, so I think I'm going to put it in either D or E tier. I think I'm going to put it in D tier because it's just not really used very much. Whatever tracks it's usually top shelf on, Black Great Sale is also top shelf on, and Black Great Sale is just more useful, and it's ranked so much more, so we usually have it at a higher level, so that's why it's in A tier. So mainly it's because of overlap. That's the main reason why it's not very high up. Blizzard Balloons. So this is a very commonly given out glider, but it's decently useful. B tier. It's usually top shelf on those vanilla lakes, so that's why I'm putting it up in B tier because we have so many of those. So I'm gonna give it a break this time around. If it doesn't shape up, it's gonna go lower though. Super Mario Kart glider. I don't even know what to say about this. This is just a glider that I haven't seen once. It was given out as a commemorative, and I haven't seen it ever since. It's like MIA or something. I don't know what happened to that, honestly. Okay, next up we've got the Heart Balloons. So Heart Balloons is also one of these gliders that are like seasonal. So I want to say either C or D tier. I'm not really sure. I'm going to put it in C tier because I think it's pretty good overall. It's just not the best. So that's why I'm putting that one there. Okay, next up we've got the Manta glider. Now this is one of these A or B tier ones because it's a very useful glider, in my opinion. I'm thinking a B tier because it's very useful, and it honestly should be one that you level up. I'm only putting it in B tier because it is somewhat overlapped by coin gliders, so that's the main reason why I'm not putting it in A tier. And that's pretty disappointing because it does have a lot of potential. And you'll see that with some of these other gliders as well, like this bullet bill parachute, like, and the fireworks one as well. Okay, moving on. We're gonna do the pink gold paper glider next. So this is actually in tier shop a lot, which says a lot. It means that it's in ranked mode very, 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 very frequently. So it's usually top shelf along with pink gold peach and on the 3DS Rainbow Road tracks. So I'd say it's an A or B tier, honestly. I think it's gonna go B tier, mainly because it's just not coin plus. This is the A tier is like for only the gliders that are normal high-ends that have coin plus, if that makes sense. Like you have to, if you're a normal high-end and you want to get an A or S tier, you have to be very, very good. I'm surprised that Silver Star Sheet was able to actually get up to S tier. It's very, very useful. Still, even though it's it's been given out in tier shops somewhat, so I'm gonna move it down to A tier. Sorry, Silver Star Shoot. Okay, moving on to the Silver Bells. So this one is also a recently added spotlight. It's not that recent, but it's somewhat Peach versus Daisy tour, so it's about a year in the ACP. So I'd say B tier. It's used and ranked decently, or no, C tier. No. C tier. There we go. It's not very useful as much as it used to be. Like, it used to be very, very good, but now it's not as good anymore. So that's why I'm putting it there. Okay, next up we've got the, I think it's Starry Great Sale. So this one's also used to be in a pack, but now it's in the ACP, and I think it's mainly an A or B tier. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's fairly new. It's about Sydney Tour 1, so decent value, not very good skill, pretty good looks, pretty B tier, I'd say. Average, very average. Strawberry Donut. This is a very tough decision for me because I have this thing level 7, and I did this on purpose because it's Mushroom Plus, and it's used and ranked pretty frequently. I'd say A tier. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I want to support this glider. I have it level 7. I have it triple capped, maxed out. It's a very good glider. The tracks that it's top shelf on just hasn't been seen and ranked very much recently, so that's the main issue with that. Moving on to our next one, we're on our final row for normal high-ends. Sunset Balloons. So this is also one of these newly added high-end gliders, and it's pretty darn useful, if I say so myself. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Yeah, it's a pretty useful glider, honestly. I think you guys should level that up if you do have it. And last but not least, Toe Bean Balloons. So Toe Bean Balloons is also one of the gliders that is meh. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. No, you don't deserve B tier. C tier. It's very, very average, in my opinion. So that's why it's in C tier right now. So we've got all the normal high-ends out of the way. So now let's move on to the ones that are more obvious than others. So, Flying Easel. It's a very, very good glider. I think I'm going to put it in S tier, actually, because it's been used pretty frequently, actually. I have it on my alt. I've seen it a lot, to be honest. So, I think S or maybe A tier. I don't want to put too much in S tier, so I'm going to put it in A tier. So this Sweetheart glider, this is going to go in D tier. It's not the best, but it's decent. I have it. It's usually overlapped by coin gliders and other gliders like Strawberry Donut or the Bright Balloons or Glinting glider. It's just very average in my opinion, so that's why it's so low. Okay, so now let's get the rest of the gold gliders out of the way because these are actually very, very useful, no matter how new or how old they are. So we're going to put all of these in A tier because the gold gliders are very, very good. They're coin gliders. That's all I really have to say about them. They're going to be very, very useful in the future. I honestly have no other words other than they're very, very good gliders, so invest in those if you haven't already. Okay, so next up we've got the Silver Manta glider. Now this is another one of these gliders that is better than the original. So like Black Great Sail to Great Sail is like Silver Manta glider to normal Manta glider, so that's why I'm putting it in A tier. It's used and ranked very often, and quite frankly, I've seen it so many times. It's very good. It is very, 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 very good. I'll say that. Sunny Surf Master. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about the Kart for some reason. Spider glider. Never used. Never used. E tier. I don't have it, but I know it's just never top shelf. Well, I take that back actually, because it is somewhat useful. So I'm gonna put it in D tier. I'll give it a little bit of credit. It is useful sometimes. But late tricolor, what were they doing? What were they doing, honestly? Like, that's a trash glider. Never used it. Never used it. Treasure map. I'm gonna put this in D tier. It's not the best, but at the same time, it's pretty decent, so we're putting that there as well. Next up, we've got the chocolate donut. Now, this is another one of the gliders that is, like, used to be pretty good, and now it's sort of descending. So I'm gonna put that in C tier. Or, well, maybe it's a little bit better. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier, actually. Next up, we've got the 2 cat parafoils. Now, I have very high expectations for these. I think the pink one is going to be, in A tier, and I'm gonna guess that the black one is gonna be in B tier. Now, trust me when I say this. This is all estimated because these 2 gliders just came out this tour. So I have no data to base this off of, except for the fact that these kind of gliders usually get pretty buffed. I'll say that. Candlelight Flight. This is actually becoming a very useful glider in ranked mode, so I'm gonna put this in B tier. It's pretty new, but at the end of the day, it's pretty useful, I'd say. Now, these 3 pixel gliders. This one, I'd say B tier. The Fire Flower, I'd say C tier. And the Mushroom, I'd say also C tier. I haven't really seen the Mushroom one ranked very much so far. And it's had a little bit of time to redeem itself, so I'm sort of worried about that. New Year's Kite. I think it's either going to go in A or B. I'm not really sure. I think I'm going to put it in B for now. Because it's a coin plus and it's pretty useful. I don't always see it, but I'd say it's pretty good. I'd say same thing with Fireworks Parachute. It's a very, very good glider, and I love it. It's such a good glider, and it gets a lot of, doesn't get as much respect as it needs. It's very underappreciated. Now, this Halloween Parasol, I think it's A or B tier. I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen it much, but I know it's a pretty good glider. I'm thinking A tier for now. Maybe I'll boost it up in a bit. I'm not sure yet. Okay, next up we've got the Rainbow Starchute. Now, this is another one of the D tier gliders that I just haven't seen very much anymore. C tier, because it is decent, I guess. It's not the worst. I'd say that. Lumo one, B or C tier. Not really sure. I think C tier is going to fit it the best. Penguin Wingtip, definitely S tier. Definitely. I forgot about how useful this thing used to be. This thing was the savior in ranked mode for at least 5 tours in a row. Not even joking. It's a savior. This home field glider, I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's not as good as its golden version, but it's pretty decent. Same goes with Planet Glider. I think it's A or B tier. I think I'm gonna go A for now. Yukata Ribbon. I haven't really seen this much, sadly. I think it's a pretty cool glider, but I haven't really seen it much. I'm thinking B tier for now. Silver Surfmaster. I know this is pretty good. I'm gonna put that in A tier. It's pretty useful, I think. Haven't really paid much attention to it, but I know it's very useful. This thing, yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. Putting that in D tier, definitely. Aurora Balloons. I haven't really seen I haven't really paid any attention to this, but I'm assuming it's going to be in like a D or an E tier. I'm going to go D tier for now, because you don't know yet. No one really knows how it's going to look. This thing, I think either C, D, or E. I think I'm going to go with C or D, because it's useful, but not all the time. Full Flight, on the other hand, is just going to go with E tier. It's not very good at all, so it's that. Polka Dot Manta Glider, I think I'm going to go with B tier or A tier. I'm not really sure which one, but I'm going to put it in B tier for now. Festival Wings looks disgusting. That's one of the main reasons why I'm putting it in F tier. Looks disgusting. I'm not even going to give it any mercy. Star Spangled Glider. I think B or C. I think I'm going to go C because it's more average than higher up. Galaxy Glider. Definitely going to go in B tier. I have very high expectations for that glider, and I think it might become very good later on. This Butterfly Prism, I think it's getting to A tier, honestly. I think it's a pretty good glider. Now, some of these, as you can see, A tier is getting very, very crowded, so I think I'm going to boost some of these up. Mainly just, like, Flying Easel, I think. That's, like, the only one I think I'm going to boost. Silver Starchute, I'm not going to boost that one, but, yeah. Okay, Banana Wingtip. Now, this is average? I don't really know about that one. It's sort of average. Same goes with this blooper one as well. It's just I haven't really paid much attention to it. This thing is trash, so I'm gonna put this one in either E or F. I think I'm gonna put it in E because it's somewhat useful, I guess. Strawberry crap. Same thing, E tier, not very useful at all. Chocolate banana crap. I think I'm gonna go with A tier actually, because it's pretty good actually. Guess it's not very crap. The meteors, D tier. Pink gold meteors, C tier. Just a little bit better, a little bit. Tanuki glider, pretty underwhelming. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Doesn't really show me anything spectacular or out of the ordinary, I'd say. Royal parachute. I haven't seen this one in ranked in so long. I think I'm gonna put this one in either C or B tier. I'm not really sure. I think I'm gonna put it in C just to be generous for now. This Sunny Surfmaster, honestly, I think this is B tier. It's very good. In my opinion, I think. I'm not really sure, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, so the normal Surfmaster is a little bit worse, so I'm gonna put it in one tier lower. And Ninja Scroll, I think, is B tier. It's pretty useful, so I'll put that there. Oh my gosh. A little, like, spot there. Like, you could easily fit 3 in there. It's so funny. Okay, so Blizzard Parasol. It's decent, so I'm going to put it in C tier. Same goes with Safety Glider. And Purple Oil Paper. I think it's either D or C tier. I'm going to put it in C tier. So, yeah, this is what I think. This is my opinion about what I think the gliders value-wise look like in the game. Like, I think this is a pretty evened out tier list. You've got a lot in the A, B, C range. S tier has pretty decent amount. D and E tier have pretty decent amount. F tier is just mainly Hanafudas. But yeah, I think this is pretty accurate. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe so I can try to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.